Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, folks, SEC Roundtable Talk. We're going to get ready to rumble in the SEC. I'm bringing my bro Chillmon in on this show, and we're going to talk all things SEC, the Tennessee Vols, of course, and we're going to get into some of the scandals that are going on right now. Anyway, let's get on with the show.
Let's get ready to rumble!
All right, Chillmon, we need to talk about several things in this SEC roundtable. We're going to be talking, obviously, a lot about the SEC, but I wanted to bring my bro Chillmon in here so y'all get his opinion as well. We've been talking a lot about SEC football, and I wanted to get your opinion on several things. We're going to talk about Eli Drinkwitz in Missouri. We'll talk a minute about that. We're also going to talk about the upcoming games that Tennessee's got and a lot of SEC topics. Yeah. But anyway, let's start out with Tennessee and their let's talk about their schedule a little bit, the toughest ball games.
First couple of games are good, but good warm-ups. The first test is going to be Oklahoma, though.
Yeah, I've got it listed and ranked as far as our toughest games. Yeah. Number 1, Georgia away. Number 2, Alabama at home. Number 3, Oklahoma away. Number 4, Florida at home because we struggle with them. Yeah. Number 5 is NC State neutral spot. And then number 6 is Kentucky at home.
I mean, those will all be tough games. Obviously, the meat of the schedule is Georgia, Alabama, Oklahoma, and Florida. Lord, please, Lord, let us beat Florida at home. Oh, my gosh. And hopefully beat the crap out of them. I'm so sick of losing to that team. And with their dumb blue color and their woo. We'll know where we are after Oklahoma. That's going to be a really good road test there because Oklahoma they don't stink. And they're going to be a tough team, especially at home, especially with Josh Heupel coming back home there with all his years there as a player, then a coach. And so there's going to be a lot of side story there. And that's going to really show us where we are with Nico, where we are with our defense, especially the defensive backfield. I think we've got most of our best linebackers back, and our defensive line and linebackers should be some of the best in the country.
Yeah, the defensive line is probably number 1 or number 2 in the country.
Yeah.
Big issues, the defensive backfield, and we're going to have to see a lot out of Boo Carter since Jordan Thomas got hurt.
I know, always.
Every fall we lose somebody in fall practice, and use sometimes a couple of people. Hopefully that does not happen this year, but we did already lose one experienced guy too, unfortunately a veteran. Words are that I've been hearing from looking at practice comments and things, we should be better in the defensive backfield. Again, it remains to be seen, but Oklahoma's going to be a major test. Yeah, and I'm looking to see what Boo Carter can do. We're probably going to see a lot of him this year. He was literally in some services a top 50 player, and he's a tremendous athlete. He's going to have to play for us with Jordan Thomas out. He's going to have to probably play at least half the snaps, I would guess.
Yeah, that's I've read a lot of talk about that too. He's even though he's like a true freshman, isn't he?
Oh yeah,
yeah, but he's going to see a lot of playing time just out of necessity. So we'll see how talented he is. If he can keep up with some of these SEC receivers, we hopefully will be in good shape.
Yeah, of the top 6 teams that I listed as toughest, I've got number 6 as Kentucky at home. And we seem to just always beat them, so I could not put them any higher than 6th.
Can we just beat this team? I know that Mark Stoops has done a lot of good things. This is his one really bad thing. The stupid stat about beating teams with a winning record and taking the next step and blah, blah. Just freaking beat Tennessee. Please, can we just stop losing to this stupid team with their stupid orange colors, and their stupid song, and their woo, woo, get their woo on out of here.
For that very reason, which tells you the next 6 games we got are pretty darn easy.
And they always play us tough. Seems like it usually is close, or it has been a couple times, but that's a big circle on their schedule every year. You know that.
Oh, it's their game. Other than it's their big game because we seem
their SEC championship, just the way it is with Missouri, apparently.
Oh yeah, well we got to talk about Missouri. I talked about this yesterday. Eli Drinkwitz, of course, has put out a T-shirt with all 4 teams that he beat out of the state of Tennessee.
Yeah, they got guys wearing T-shirts with Mizzou on it. It says Tennessee State Champs, and it's got the logos of the 4 teams they beat last year.
You serious?
And I love the fact that he's got a T-shirt with MTSU on it, Memphis and Vanderbilt. You got to love that.
I mean, what a douche. And how big of an indirect compliment is that to us? He doesn't even know it. He's such a jerk, but he's indirectly complimented us big time, because that's apparently we're the biggest team he plays or used to play.
It's the biggest win that he's had in the SEC. It was beating us, obviously, because he made a T-shirt out of it.
Yeah. I mean, how much are we living rent-free in that dude's head for him to actually do that and have some of his players wearing it?
You got to remember, he stands on business, Wilmot.
They stood on business. You'll remember that.
Yep. We stand on business, John.
Yeah, he stands on being don't get me started, John.
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Well, he's a punk. He's just a punk.
He's a punk. Like I said, he's a phallus cranium from the get-go. And, just coming up and saying something stupid like that, what the heck does that even mean? What are we running some kind of, consultancy business or something like that? We stand on business.
I think it's some stupid millennial thing that people say. I don't know.
Well, apparently he had those shirts made because they ran out of I'm a douche shirts. Okay.
That's what it is.
That's exactly what it is.
That was pretty good. We're keeping that. I'm keeping that in.
5 razor, son. Open, get open. Get your head out of your ass.
All right. Now, we've got to talk about the Michigan sign stealing thing, because it's been such a huge blow up story now. And of course, they've given Jim Harbaugh 4-year show cause, 1-year suspension. Has nothing to do with sign stealing. That has to do everything he did in the dead period, because he wouldn't cooperate, and he pretty much told the NCAA to stick it.
Yeah, that's just the recruiting violations. They ain't even got to the nationwide Spectre crime organization run by, Jim Harbaugh Blofeld.
I have satisfied myself that one of you is clearly guilty of embezzlement. I've decided on the appropriate action.
And all his team of sign stealers, all running all around the nation in disguises with fake beards and glasses with the fake noses, and up there with shoulder-mounted cameras being in disguise. I mean, it's obvious. It's so flippin' obvious now. It's ridiculous. And just to hear him say, "Oh, never lie, never cheat, never steal," except me.
Never lie, never cheat, never steal. I was raised with that lesson.
Except when I do.
Except when I do. And, I'm not here to apologize, even though I should, because I'm a no good cheating piece of you-know-what. And, I mean, come on. And you look at that sideline video. Who's the guy standing there with the headset on and the sunglasses, looking right at his analyst who's calling the defensive plays, standing next to the defensive coordinator? Oh, he didn't notice?
Allegedly. All right, now here's the Ohio State quarterback. He's looking over to the sideline. There's Connor right there. Look at Connor. He's watching close. Oh, he's watching so close. Get out of the way, running back. Okay, now they're saying pass, pass, pass. How did he know that? How did Connor know they were going to pass, pass? Look, everybody. Now, this is he's an analyst, makes $60 grand a year. Look at him. Everybody follows his direction. Give me a break.
Well, look, he's a $60,000 a year analyst, so that's where he should be standing, in front of the defensive coordinator calling the plays.
That would have been like Butch Jones boxing out Nick Saban and calling the defensive plays and saying,
"Hey, at least Butch Jones was a head coach at one time."
Well, yeah, he had actually coaching experience, although it was not that great, but still, at least he kind of knew something about football. He wasn't a vacuum cleaner repairman or whatever the heck he is. Like Barney Fife selling vacuums door to door. And
hey, don't disturb him when he's cleaning his room.
I said, don't disturb me when I'm cleaning my room.
But you can't make this crap up, John. It's ridiculous. And for him to say, and now what has he said? He said, I'm not gonna. I've heard just about enough about this tomato.
Oh yeah,
I'm not talking about it anymore.
Yeah, he's like Barney. He doesn't want to hear about that tomato anymore. He has spoken.
Peter, it doesn't work.
I have spoken.
Yeah, he has spoken.
What an arrogant, entitled. Jeez.
He's a narcissist. He is the definition of narcissism.
You think? Holy cow.
Oh, yeah. The way he sat up there all defiant. I never lie, never steal, blah, blah, blah.
Of course, he's home free now. He's out of college football.
Yeah.
So he ran to his safe space. So I guess he's good. He's got a, emotional support puppy or something to help him out.
Everyone likes me and thinks I'm great in my safe space.
My safe space.
But yeah, it's just ridiculous, and it's all going to come out. And I'll tell you what's going to come out is how South Carolina cheated our butts because they got our signs from Michigan.
Allegedly.
Man, my eyes just rolled so far back in my head, I saw my brain. It's all going to come out. It's going to come out. Too many people interested in it, and too many people following it. Too many people like your show talking about it. It's going to be found out.
Yeah, there's at least a dozen journalists that have covered this, that are still covering it. Now, I'm not a journalist, obviously, but there's a lot of people that see the breadcrumbs that are leading right to South Carolina. Well, none of it makes sense. And I actually talked about it last night on BVD show. You think about all of the circumstantial evidence that is stacked on top of each other, and how that team magically beat 2 top 10 playoff teams in a row, and they were terrible before and terrible after.
That's the key. If they had improved and then they stayed good, that's a different story maybe. But for them to go from terrible to all of a sudden beating two playoff teams, what were we ranked when we played them?
Number 5.
Yeah, we were number 5 in the country, and they just gotten lambasted by Florida, and they come in and they beat us like there's no tomorrow. It was like they knew what the plays were going to be.
It appeared they knew exactly what play to be in against our defense every time.
Yeah, and they had the wristbands that they've never used before or since. Oh, that's kind of weird. On defense, nobody wears wristbands on defense.
Yeah,
generally only the quarterback does that.
Yeah, and then they go to Clemson. Clemson had won like 41 straight home games, and they go to Clemson and whoop them.
Yeah, don't just beat them, whoop them. And have they beat Clemson before or since? Like the 50s?
They occasionally will beat them, but not at Clemson. It's extremely rare. Clemson wasn't even thinking about them. They were on the back burner.
Oh yeah,
he was concerned about Tennessee flipping burgers and drinking a cold drink. That's what Dabo was talking about.
Yeah, and that's obvious. I mean, give me a break. It's obvious.
Here's the other thing, Wilmot. Connor Stalions had our signs. We know that because he scouted our game and Clemson's game prior. So we had our signs.
That's irrefutable.
Yeah. So, according to all the reports.
Yes.
Allegedly. Anyway, here's the thing, Wilmot. What are the odds he would have reached out to an analyst or an assistant when he had done exactly the same thing with Central Michigan, where he literally was on the sidelines, and they finally fired the quarterback's coach, who apparently was the guy that led him on the sideline. And Jim McElwain, of course, it took him, 10 months to figure it out?
Yeah.
And I doubt Jim McElwain had any clue that guy was over there, just like Shane Beamer probably didn't have any idea, but McElwain didn't mind looking the other way, and nor would I think Shane Beamer would look the other way.
Yeah.
He's a guy that got fined $25,000 for taking information he was not supposed to have on another team when he was an assistant at Virginia Tech.
I started to say he'd already done it. He'd already been fined for doing the exact same thing. So what? He's not going to do it again? I mean, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
How dare you?
I don't think he would risk his career at this point as a head coach, but I do think he'd look the other way.
Oh, of course.
Well, Jim Harbaugh certainly didn't mind looking the other way for almost 3 years.
Well, those 2 wins kept his job.
Not only did he keep his job, he got a raise and an extension.
So it was only worth $10 million to him to cheat. Well, that's a pretty good. 20 million.
I don't even think he may not even known that it was going on. He really might not have known, but there is such a thing as plausible deniability.
He didn't want to know.
Plausible deniability. Well, they give that to the president all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you just sit there and reap the benefit. You know something's going on. I know nothing. I see nothing. It's the Schultz defense.
Yep. Well, we've got just a few more weeks, Chilmont, and we'll have our first game. Obviously, it's a warm-up game against UT Chattanooga.
Yeah.
Moccasins. And then we'll play Kent State as the second game, I believe. And then we play NC State.
NC State should be a good game on a neutral site. We should learn a lot in that game. We'll definitely learn where we are against Oklahoma.
The one good thing NC State's got is they've got the Coastal Carolina quarterback. But what I would do with him is I would use our defensive line to pressure him. I would make sure he was on the ground at least 10 times in that game.
Oh, yeah. We need to Pierce.
Just go after him because they're not going to be able to run on us. I'll go ahead and tell you, NC State's not going to be able to run on our defense.
They're going to have to throw it. Everybody's going to have to throw it against us. If we get to like Georgia and Alabama and those guys, they'd probably be able to run a little bit on us, but not a huge amount.
We were number one against the rush all year last year till the final game. I think we finished a close second.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic in the SEC.
And we got pretty much everybody back this year.
Yeah, we're strong on it. We will stop the run. It's can we put enough pressure on the quarterback to be able to help out the defensive backs where we're weakest. That's
going to be the key. And if we can do that, and of course, if Nico lives up to his billing, that's, so goes the season. So goes Nico. So goes the season. But the defensive backfield will be the second key to whether or not we go like 10-2 or 8-4 or 9-3. We can do 10-2 and get in the playoff.
Oh, we're in 10-2. We're in.
Yeah, 10-2. We're definitely in with our schedule.
Yeah,
unless there's 5 teams from the SEC.
We don't get in at 10-2. I will be doing shows that they might have to take me off the air.
Yeah.
And you too.
Oh, the biggest thing, and I was talking to somebody about this here. Could you imagine us getting a home game in the playoffs? What Neyland would be rocking. Oh my gosh.
What would it cost to get a ticket?
I don't care. I would pay it. I would pay it. I don't know what you get. Probably lower level, $1,000 a seat.
Well, it was $400 to get a baseball ticket.
Yeah, behind home plate, it was $400 in the playoffs, and they used to have to pay you to come to the baseball games back in the old stadium. Winning takes care of everything, doesn't it, John?
Yeah, it sure does.
All right, folks, that was my bro Chilmont, myself talking a little bit of SEC talk and the VOLS and all that good stuff. If you like this show, be sure to hit that like button. That lets me know to continue to cover all these big SEC and, of course, my VOLS and all that. And right over here on your right, my left, hit this little button. This is the subscribe button. Doesn't cost you a dime. It'll help you get my videos, makes it easier for you. And right over here is the most recent video that YouTube thinks you'll enjoy based on your viewing history. And we'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.